everybody. Welcome to our pre-New York Comic-Con podcast. My name is Kate.
And I'm Alan.
And we're from ReverseThieves.com, and you can go there to get other podcasts as well as 3+ blog posts every week. And so, yeah, I mean, you know, we have been going to Comic-Con for a while now.
Since it started, really.
And it's one of the first shows that we really covered. And it's easily the show that we've been going to that has exploded into the biggest event. It is definitely a highlight of the year, and it just keeps getting crazier and crazier.
Still not San Diego Comic-Con, but it's not that far off as well.
And they're totally trying to be that on the East Coast. So I feel like they're making an effort as much as possible in order to make it that big of a bash. There have been some hiccups. I mean, at the beginning of ticket sales, we're already selling out very quickly, and they didn't put all the types of tickets on sale at the same time, so there was kind of a staggering of that, but I know that it was a real shitfest, and people were really upset.
Plus, there was that comic thing that we went to, and you could, if you went to that, you could buy tickets there, so a lot of the 4-day passes were bought out by people who went to that convention, so it was even harder to get 4-day passes this year. Not that it was super easy last year.
And also, they made less. I think that was probably the bigger factor, because at special edition you could only buy one per person. Online there was something crazy like 4 or 6 or something insane, but they were also making less 4-day badges, less 3-day badges, like consciously said that that's what they were doing. And then San Diego this year got rid of 3-day, 4-day weekend badges. So I'm fully expecting Comic-Con to next year to not have multi-day badges. You just have to buy every day that you want.
Or if they do special edition again, that might be like the only place that you can buy a 4-day badge.
Oh my god. The craziness. That convention was $35. Mm-hmm. And considering how much it costs to buy all 4 days, if the 4-day badge is as cheap as it was, it's because it's only about like $100, it would be worth it even with that $35. Because individually this year, if you bought the 4 days, it was like $190. It was almost $200. So, oh my god, that's how they can get people to like go to special edition, because that con really was small potatoes, and I kind of think it may not be there.
But yeah, then all I have to do is go, only place to get a 4-day badge to New York Comic-Con is that special edition.
Don't give them ideas! I know they're going to listen to this.
Thank you.
Hire this man! Hire this man!
Thank you, Mr. Mendez.
I think you should get a special 4-day badge sent to you for coming up with that plan. If people don't have your head on a spike for this next...
That's that guy!
It was him all along! It's been kind of I don't know, I feel like it's been already emotional for a lot of people, and a friend of mine couldn't go, so I'd been trying to sell his tickets because he couldn't go, and I am completely against marking up. I was selling them for cost, but these things are going on eBay for like hundreds and hundreds of dollars. I just feel awful for people that are, first of all, that are just, you know, spending that much. Like, I understand wanting to go, but I mean, obviously I couldn't do that if that was the case, but I think it's super shady and really bad, and I hope that like Comic-Con can do something about that in future.
Oh, what I was going to say is if you didn't want to mark them up and you couldn't get rid of them, you could just have it, you could put it on eBay and just say buy it now for like the price, and you could have got rid of it that way, because I'm sure if everybody's like, all right, buy it now, of course, it would be gone in a few seconds. That's what I meant. So it's like, if you're worried about it, just put it online for buy it now, and it'll be
instantly gone. Well, obviously, when all these shady people are, you know, I just don't like the idea of like people specifically buying them to sell them. And that seemed to happen a lot, and we saw it with PAX. And it's the same, you know, same company, so I hope that... I feel like they've taken notice of it, and I don't know what they can do to crack down on it, but...
They said at Special Edition, that lady who was doing the line, that they thought were thinking of linking it to the name, so basically, because you have to register, you know... When I got my press badge today, you have to go online and register it. They were thinking of, like, when you buy the ticket, you put a name on it, and that name has to match the name that registers the badge.
It's like Otakon, where non-transferable.
Yeah, so they were really thinking of making them non-transferable, and they're like, I remember when we talked to the lady, they were thinking, not this year, but definitely next year, they were thinking making them non-transferable.
I hope that's true. Or something else. If they come up with something else, I don't know what it would be, but yeah, just because it's gotten so crazy. Like, I kind of understand. I mean, I like the transferable part because, like, in this case, my friend couldn't go. So instead of his money being wasted, we were able to get his money back because we were able to give them to other people who wanted to go. So I totally see why that's awesome and helpful. But then, when things are becoming such a premium, I feel like a lot of people who want to go aren't getting to go just because there's these scalpers.
Yeah,
so.
And I think that's why they're going to make it non-transferable, because sure, certain people would spend the money and, just be SOL when it came Comic-Con time, but there are fewer of them than people who either have to pay exorbitant prices because of scalpers or just can't go because they just don't have the time or luck to get a badge online and then just don't have the money to pay a crazy price to get a jacked up ticket.
All right, moving on to the actual convention.
And what we're going to complain about that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we're going to complain about stuff. We're just going to start now. That way we don't have to complain as much when we're doing the podcast after the convention. So the Javits Center is still having some construction. When we were there for special edition, was looking pretty good, but I think there is still a few things going on. The 7 line that is under construction, the train station that's supposed to be there, is still under construction and will hopefully be open next Comic-Con. But this year, it's not going to be. And, I mean, that's not different. I mean, that's what they had been saying all along. It's not as if they were like, it's going to be open, and now it isn't. But, unfortunately, that still means, there's quite a trek with mass transit. But the High Line just opened the last part. That's the elevated park here in New York City, and it's like along the west side. And it just opened its final section, and that terminates like really close to the Javits Center. So that doesn't help you transit-wise, but it's a nice place to go chill out. You can get food over there, and it's just
And also, if you don't mind the little walking, it's not a bad place to do cosplay pictures. Probably.
It would be an amazing place to do cosplay photos. So that is like the construction update that's good, and then there's the other ones that aren't so great.
I have finally discovered where the search app is in the iOS version of Guidebook. Because I was like, why does the Android version have a search function, but the iOS doesn't? And I finally figured out that if you click the name, there's like a little banner at the top of Guidebook that's like, this time it says New York, NYCC Mobile, New York, New York. And the dates it is, if you pull it down, the search is under there. And I'm like, why would I ever think to pull that down?
Why is the search hidden?
I don't know. Because in the Android one, it's always accessible. And if you go to the little pull down thing, it's also there. And I'm like, why isn't it there? You shouldn't have to hunt down the panels you want. You should just be able, hey, when's the Gen Manga panel? Type in Gen Manga, boom, get it. Not have to search for it.
You think you've got problems. Have you visited the New York Comic Con website? Either they've been hacked and someone put up that horrible, 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 unnavigable website, or for some reason it's like a joke on us and they paid somebody to make it that terrible, because I think that you would have to actively make it that bad. It's just not intuitive. It seems very tablet friendly, but the show planner, since I can't use Guidebooks, I don't have a smart device, there's a show planner that you can use on the web. Well, theoretically you can use it, but it is completely and utterly broken. If you log into it, it's like, okay, you've logged in. And then if you click away from that page at all, you get logged out. So then when I try to add things, like, oh, I'm gonna add these panels, I go back to my show planner. I'm like, okay, now I'm going to print this out. I'm not logged in.
I have gone to that webpage because when we do the post for this, for the podcast, we put in our schedule and I link all the panels. So if you try to search the grid, if you use like the web browser, it will not find anything on that grid. So I basically had to search using the app because you can actually search using that. And then I'd go, oh, that panel that Kate is going to is at this time, so I can go there. And then...
If you don't use the grid, you can use a search function, but it's not obvious where any of these things are. Also, on the web page, I visited in like 3 different browsers, and there's all of these... You know how if a character or something doesn't show up on a website, it just has like a weird letter or like a foreign letter? Yeah. There's like a bunch of those just scattered throughout. It's like a decoration, I think, maybe. Maybe that's part of the design. It's just the worst site ever. So it's actually was really hindering me from making my schedule. And I tell you, I did it about 3 times a day trying to do it. And yeah, I mean, I walked away with, I think, what I want to do, but it's just not well put together at all, and I think it's very unfortunate, but, you know, how many times can I complain that nobody cares about the people who don't have smart devices? It's obviously falling on deaf ears. Hopefully there'll be a paper schedule. If there isn't one for this convention, which has, like, 1 billion things to do at any given time, I'm gonna have a heart attack. I'm gonna just pass out instantly.
I'll just lend you my iPhone if you need a cake.
What are you going to use?
I have the tablet.
Like, it's bullshit. I shouldn't have to do that. Wait a minute. I'm not gonna complain yet because I don't know if I'm acting as if there isn't a paper schedule.
I'm sure they're gonna have a paper schedule.
We don't know that they won't yet. This isn't Otakon. But I will totally take them to task if there isn't one. So, stay tuned. But speaking of the actual schedule, I feel like Comic-Con keeps getting a bad rep about anime and manga stuff.
Before we go on to that, one last complaint. Hey guys, anime and manga companies attending this convention. You might want to mention, just offhandedly, it's crazy, in your descriptions that you are an anime and manga company, because when we were looking to see who was attending this convention, who wasn't, Viz does not mention that they do manga.
Nope, they don't mention the words manga in their description.
Anywhere. They mention Shonen Jump, but when I'm looking for what manga companies are showing up, I don't type in Shonen Jump.
They want you to, but you're not gonna do that. Oh, but also...
I type in Shonen Sunday, but no.
But...
You've refused to admit your branch of Shonen Sunday, Viz.
But even the guidebook app stuff is not properly tagged, and that's not even the company's fault. I mean, obviously, if you're dumb enough not to put the words anime and manga in your, well, I guess you get what's coming to you, but the app, when you search for, there's like a place where you can sort by, like, show me all the anime manga companies. Nope, doesn't show up in there. Funimation doesn't even show up in there, even though they're going to be at this convention. So, hey, FYI companies, maybe you want to tell New York Comic Con about what a bad job they're doing in regards to these things.
And you guys, on the other hand, also might want to mention what you sell. Just throwing it out there. I mean, yeah, it's cool that you mention, like, your top-selling titles, but you should just also mention the medium you're in.
I think it's a good idea. But I'm actually impressed with the amount of anime and manga stuff going on. Again, I feel like people are so down on New York Comic Con about anime and manga, and I feel like they're not giving it a fair shake. And it's like if New York Comic Con was a pie. The anime and manga is a slice of that pie, you know, and then there's slices of everything else. So it's not a huge slice. There's a lot going on.
A lot of companies are there. There's Funimation and Viz, Gen Manga, Kodansha Manga. They're all going to be doing panels. Yen Press is going to be there as well. Vertical's going to be there. And they're doing a panel as well, so...
I mean, pretty much every anime and manga company is doing a panel. Even Anime News Network has a panel this year. Crunchyroll's doing panels, so...
on their streaming and their manga. There's a good number of guests, although I think most people only know one, but...
Well, I mean, Yeah, not just industry presence, because industry presence is kind of like, I mean, that's important, but it's not exactly exciting. Like, oh, good, we'll go and watch Funimation tell us about the new releases. The big guest is, of course, Takeshi Obata, who is one half of the creator of Death Note. And he's doing that All You Need Is Kill manga that recently got released in English.
Oh, you shouldn't also forget he was also half of Bakuman.
That's right. And so Hikaru no Go. I mean, I feel like he's a really big get and an artist that I really like. I was very excited and kind of surprised. Obviously, he's coming with Viz, and he'll be doing a Shonen Jump panel. He's also doing, they're doing a spotlight panel for him. So he's the big name, big in lights guest for anime and manga fans.
And yeah, definitely someone to keep your eye on. I know if you go to shonenjump.com, you can put in questions to ask him. He's really one of the biggest gets. Yeah, as much as people are down on New York Comic Con, I mean, they got Hiro Mashima. They've gotten some pretty impressive mangaka guests.
Yeah, I can tell that Viz now considers New York Comic Con worthy by them doing this, because these are kind of like San Diego Comic Con level people that you would imagine. He's only there Thursday and Friday, so any anime and manga fans going, you should know that those are the only 2 days you'll be able to see him. And I think he's only doing one autograph session, which is Thursday. I'm getting everyone I know to try to get a ticket for that. I just want the one, but I'd like one. So, if you're an anime manga fan, I think you should be going to see him. Do everything in your power. I think the other probably big thing going on is the Kill la Kill thing.
They're showing the OAV of Kill la Kill. I know a lot of people have probably already watched it via Methods. It'll be the, first official showing. And
I haven't seen it.
For everybody who is a good anime and manga fan, or at least plays by the rules, as it were, it's your first official chance to see it. We might have a little hard time getting in.
Oh, I'm so annoyed by that.
Because, of course, since Aniplex is making a big deal of it, they also have some of the American voice actors doing a little, question and meet and greet after that. So there are going to be a lot of people who wouldn't attend it just to see the voice actors.
It's going to make it kind of a nightmare. That's on Saturday night, so.
Because, it would have been a little bit difficult to get in, but this has really made it a lot more challenging.
At least we think so. I mean, I'm going to be curious to see how it goes and, how much of the space gets filled, how quickly.
But still, that's a nice get. Still feel that Kill la Kill has a lot of fan goodwills.
It's just finished. How could it not?
Look, fans are fickle these days.
That's true, I guess. They could change in an instant.
But I still feel it's one of those shows that has, it's not like once it went off the air, like, people didn't care about it anymore. I still feel like people are still like, yay, Kill la Kill. Like, oh, give me, Kill la Kill art books and, more Kill la Kill stuff. They still have a good amount of goodwill towards it and love. They have not been like, what is the new thing? I forgot about your show that was on 2 seasons ago.
I'm not looking forward to Trigger's new show, which will absolutely not live up to Kill la Kill, but everybody will just constantly complain about how it doesn't.
Okay.
Until Ninja Slayer.
Yeah.
And then everyone will be fine.
They've got to wean you off it, so when Ninja Slayer comes back, your body will be properly prepared for it.
I see. And you discovered that panel that I have not heard anybody talk about, have not heard any guest announcements for, but...
There's a Kakahashi Project, new Japanese animation talent panel. And it's just kind of this little, not discussed at all, panel hidden on Sunday. But it actually has some impressive guests attending it.
So this project is kind of a cultural exchange type of project. And the Japan Society is also helping with this panel about new animators, some American working in Japan, and then some obviously Japanese animators. And Yuzuru Tachikawa, who is we did an interview with. He was at Otakon last year. He's the director of Death Billiards, and he was actually the assistant director on Terror in Resonance, which just finished. He's gonna be there on this panel. Does anybody even know that? Until now. Now they know.
Yeah, I mean, once again, it's exactly like that Koike panel.
Yeah, the Masters of Animanga or whatever last year.
Where it's like, hey guys, did you know this guy is here?
If you're an anime and manga fan and you're going to the con, this sounds like a really awesome panel. It's going to be on Sunday, quieter day, so I'm just really upset that I'm sure this panel is going to be like a third full.
And he isn't the only one who's going to be there. There are a bunch of other people. And even the moderator, Justin Leach, he worked on Kickheart and a few other Japanese projects. So even the American moderator has done work in Japan. There's Aya Suzuki, who worked on The Wind Rises. Ryo Okawara, who worked on A Wind Egg. Saori Shiroki, the woman who stole fingers, not something I know, but still people who are active in the anime and manga industry on this panel.
And nobody knows about this. It's a real shame. Thank goodness you were able to navigate the schedule and find it, Al. Really. Thanks for bringing it to all of our attention. As far as anything else going on, there's quite a few Sailor Moon events. I saw, there's some screenings, a lot of screenings actually. Besides Sailor Moon and Sailor Moon Crystal, there's even like a Utena screening, a Zoranma screening, a few other things. And then there's an official Sailor Moon panel. I'm going to try to attend that. That's run by Viz. And if you pre-order the first box set at their booth, you get something special from the con. So yeah, there's quite a bit going on. I was actually very impressed. It might be the usual suspects, but except for that Kakehashi panel, man, that's just way out there. Wasn't expecting that at all. But yeah, I think that it has a lot to offer, and I'm gonna just keep championing New York Comic Con anime and manga stuff. It makes me upset when I feel like people are always so down on the convention and that, so.
And yeah, I mean, as much as, the anime community seems to have turned against it, they are still extending their hand. If you want to push it away, that's on you.
Of course, we have tons of panels on our to-do list. I will be spending a lot of time in Artist Alley, and as per usual, I'm sure we will not get to see everything or do everything because it's a massive convention, but we will be doing plenty of coverage, anime and manga specifically, but also we'll cover anything else that we attend, any other events. I know both me and Al are, big American cartoon fans, so there's a lot of events surrounding those I think we'll both be at.
One thing I will notice that I've noticed going through the schedule and just remembering special edition, I feel ReedPop really goes out of its way to have a lot of panels on diversity. There are a lot of panels on women in comic, trying to reach minorities, both sexual and racial, on the schedule. And so, as much as people complain about comics being very exclusionary and, that's just the way it is, I feel like ReedPop, when they have a comic convention, really tries to lend a hand and let people who kind of feel a little left out by comics have a voice.
And I saw that they announced a new anti-harassment policy, and I know that was a big complaint about San Diego this year. So I think they're also trying to one-up them a bit. I get it, but if it's in the name of, better things for everybody, that's fine. I also noticed a bunch of panels about, bullying and just the badness of the kind of combating the trolliness. I don't know what else to really call it as a catch-all, but I saw a lot of panels about kind of online activity. And I also noticed that not just on Sunday, which I think is still designated as Kids Day, but I saw lots of kid or family or all ages events every day when I was looking through the schedule.
Well, I know every day, the first panel of the day, there's at least one panel that's some kids panel. One of them was make a Japanese mascot panel for Manhattan. And that's obviously a kids panel. And they have a similar panel every other day. So yeah, there's always one panel that starts off the day that is just 100% for kids.
So yeah, it seems like they're really trying to like cover all their bases. I'm gonna be interested to see how they're using the space differently. When me and Al were at Special Edition, we noticed them doing some painting and some remodeling in the lower floors. So I'm gonna be curious to see, you know, how that plays out.
Hopefully they're less like dungeons. And
I know,
more like...
just paint the damn things white, like bright white. That would just fix everything. I am really excited. Of course, friends coming in town, and it's going to be a fantastic time. We will be telling you all about it for the speakeasy, so look forward to that.